Welcome to the Simple Minds podcast, where we look to empower and encourage real conversation amongst men everywhere by unpacking topics on self-help, philosophy, and business. Hi, and welcome to the Simple Minds podcast. It's Matt Hannam here, and I'm hosting today's episode. I'm joined on my right and left by peeps. We're sitting in a bit of an awkward structure today.
It's called a panel.
We're sitting in a panel environment, which is not really what we do. And hello, you can see us. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, can you start watching on YouTube, please? Can you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel now? Just Google it, figure it out. I'm not going to give you the link. You're smart enough people. I believe in you. Now just go there right now.
U and ends in tube.com.
You think you're pretty funny, don't you?
We want to go from one followers to two.
Can you spell that? Yeah, we want to go from 2 to 3 followers. I think Trav unsubscribed last week, but basically that'd be great. We're going to film the next 6, 8, I don't know, a few podcasts on video, and it's obviously a lot of time and money and everything else. So we would like to know if you like it. And
feel free to donate.
Feel free to donate your editing skills. There'll be a button on Conrad's website. 1-800-C Francis.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Anyway, welcome to the show. Please go to YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, go to YouTube now. That might skew our download results, but whatever. Do it now. Today, we'll start with a drink after I introduce you boys. So, Conrad, I notice you're here. Nice to see you.
I feel present.
Trav,
G'day.
welcome to the show.
Hey.
And JB.
What's up?
Who's on your right?
Smooth as right.
Can we get to the drink? I'm thirsty.
We can get to the drink.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a red wine. Just drink it.
It's a bucket of plums.
It's a Pepper Jack certified 2017
What does that mean?
Shiraz
It's
Cabernet.
marketing.
It's the perfect match for prime cuts.
Oh, where's the prime?
Cuts.
Look, this is the prime cut right here. He's a prime specimen, and I thought, what better bottle of wine than to...
Aloof.
Oh.
See? Aloof.
How is that aloof? How you're trying to be aloof, mate? You're just trying to just get everyone distracted
Cheers.
from your prime cut. Cheers. I'll just
You get a drink from the bottle?
cheers.
I was going nowhere.
How is it?
Very good.
Missing a prime cut.
Missing a prime cut. It tastes really good
I'm
with a
fasting
prime
today.
cut.
I can't talk about food.
You're fasting, drinking red wine.
Pretty heavy though.
I know. I'll be off the table
Heavy.
soon.
All right. So today,
Snakes and ladders.
we are doing snakes and ladders. We're doing a little quiz. And I did ask everyone to do it themselves, but I decided it might be better if we did it collectively.
Because I didn't do it
and
by
made some
myself.
decisions.
I did do it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't a long episode or a long experience. Wouldn't have been a long experience for you to go through the process, Conrad. But
Nothing's long for Conrad.
we can do that now. He was obviously busy doing something else, like pumping weights or whatever, to get that fine specimen in order. So, what type of entrepreneur are you? Are you a Branson? Are you a Zuckerberg? An opportunist or an innovator? I don't know. Well, let's figure it out, eh? So,
What were you?
well, we're not. We're going to go through it. So, I decided this might be a bit of fun.
Why don't we just tell whoever's done it, figure out who you are, and let's just see whether you're bullshitting
Why don't
yourselves or not? Because I think you idealistically want to be one of them anyway.
You lack awareness on who's hosting this episode.
Who would you like to be before we get to the end? Then
Who would I like to be?
Yeah.
I'd like to be me. Happy
Putting
days.
himself up
end of
there.
episode.
Yeah. Next.
Conrad, we'll start with you.
Evernote.
Can someone just turn his mic off, please? We can watch him in the video floundering around. Look, there's a little quiz. What I would urge you to do, you've gone to YouTube now because I've already asked you to. So in YouTube, in the description, there'll be a link in there for access to this
game.
It's not a game. It's just a bit of a quiz process to find out what kind of entrepreneur you are. I mean, this is not just for entrepreneurs, people. I guess this is how you go about life and your career and everything else as well. But we're going to go take Conrad on a little journey down a white dotted road.
Be interesting. Yeah, let's go.
So, Conrad, Where do you write down your thoughts?
I told you.
Evernote, Twitter, or a napkin?
Evernote.
I know that, mate. But you know,
I'm
they're listening,
I'm actually looking at OneNote at the moment too, so I'm off the chart again.
right
Off the chart.
off the chart. So, seeing as you picked Evernote, the second question is: do you plan ahead?
Yes.
So, always or never?
If that's the choices, then it would be always. But I don't always plan ahead. But I don't never plan ahead either. So I'm going to go with always.
In the grey.
So, you're in the grey.
No.
So, you've got a lot of grey going on today. So,
Choose
look,
between the two.
I said always.
yeah. So, you created a company to what? To build an empire, to change the world for the better, to make loads of money, to enjoy the self-starter lifestyle, or to not work for the man.
The most recent business I started, because I've started several businesses, but the most recent business I started was to change the world.
You started to change the world.
Well, to change Australia.
Perth.
Australia.
West Perth,
Australia.
Gordon Street.
Australia. Don't be jealous.
So you okay? All right, you're changing the world now, all right? So you're definitely an evangelist.
Well, my vision is to make financial services accessible and affordable for all Australians. So what the fuck does that not answer the question?
So are you more a leader or a follower?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Tough one.
I don't follow anyone.
What about Sadhguru?
I listen to him.
What about Oprah?
I've listened to her.
What about
God? I follow.
Well, there you go. So you're a follower. Okay.
Yeah.
So which path are we taking here?
Well, you're asking the questions, bro.
He's a leader.
You're a leader. Okay. So Conrad.
So who am I?
You are a serial entrepreneur.
No shit. I've had fucking that many businesses. I could have told you that without all those stupid questions.
Yeah, but I think we just discovered you
No,
along the
fair
way.
enough.
You know?
So what's the avatar for the serial entrepreneur?
Conrad. I mean, it doesn't say anything.
It's just Conrad.
I got serial entrepreneur as well,
Did you? Yeah, well, that makes sense.
but I went the napkin route.
We haven't done you yet, Hayo.
I
know, we're
With the
going-
napkin, the
Right.
tree hugger uses the disposable
We're
napkin.
back to the start. So,
Eco-friendly napkin.
yeah, exactly. What a waste of paper.
Washable.
Jeez. Hayo.
What should be
wrong
wrong?
here? Yeah, it's a washable napkin. It's a pile of dirt. It just draws in the dirt. Hato.
Napkin.
I just told you, serial entrepreneur. Go, JB.
No.
Well, you got asked to do this, so I did it. All right,
Yeah, but
napkin.
I
Let's follow the
didn't.
path because
Yeah.
I want to see
I
challenges.
didn't believe in it. Yeah, that's the point.
I would believe you are a napkin writer.
So you write on a napkin, not Evernote or Twitter.
He's a notebook writer, right? So there's no notebook there.
Yep. So what best describes you? An ideas person or a resource gatherer?
Ideas person. Love a good idea.
Apart from the fact that light bulb looks like his hair.
Saying it ties to me, they're even better.
So what does it say? You're unsure about how to do
No,
something.
if
No,
you
if
received
you
a
receive-
large fucking
Follow the
who's
line,
running
mate.
this?
Snakes and ladders. If you fail snakes and
My
ladders.
page has died. You kill it.
If you received a large sum of money from a benefactor, would you A, invest it in your business, B, go on a holiday, C, start a business?
And your
Start a
answer
side
would be?
business. Invest.
But would you invest in your business?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no, actually. I'll probably start a side business.
That's probably more the truth.
All right. So then you're if you're
Well, that's what I
unsure.
did last time.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon. Oh, I've just bought a... Actually, I didn't buy it. I got given a...
Oh, it
What,
works.
waste my time on a Saturday afternoon talking about your stupid stuff.
So you're unsure about how to do something. What would you do? Find someone who does know what to do, or Google the hell out of it and do it yourself?
Find someone who knows.
Is that what you do mostly?
Yeah, probably.
I would have picked you as a Googler.
Yeah. I just ask Conrad. He knows everything.
I'd suggest you Google.
He goes straight to Google. He's the Googler.
I'm the
Actually,
Googler.
I get it's a good point. Like, because you just call Conrad and then he's just googling it for you.
So I'm a little bit of both.
That's not a fucking answer. A little.
goes to
There's
somewhere.
no line down the middle.
Okay, let's go with he finds some.
How do you make tough decisions?
This is how he's saving himself. 'Cause
Gut.
Yeah.
He,
Okay.
he looked ahead.
Yeah, I know.
No, I didn't.
Fine. How do you make tough decisions?
He said gut.
Gut.
So you're the opportunist.
Opportunist.
Look at him,
There you
mate.
go, it's changed.
He has to take every opportunity.
Now he's changed. Unless my paper doesn't work because I've got
Oh,
a
has
few
he
problems.
changed?
Because
No.
it goes to opportunist.
No.
But
There
it
you
keeps
go.
going. Oh no, it doesn't.
I think I initially said invest in your business when I first did it. So that took me down to leader or follower. But I'm happy with opportunist.
Yeah, I think it's
Either or.
pragmatic, really.
Yeah. At the
All
end,
right.
it doesn't matter. Ooh.
It doesn't really, does it?
What does it say? You have a knack for knowing when the right time and place for a product is. You might be a little impulsive, but you're prepared to explore whatever seems like a good opportunity. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Nah, it's not at all. Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know, that's how you started
Well, this
dating your
is,
missus.
you're the world.
It looked like a good opportunity.
Oh,
I think my map's all over the place. I think I think you should have ended up in the world changer. Got this up, so you can see it. But
I am
this,
a world
this
changer.
printout died. You're supposed to be the world changer, not the serial entrepreneur. Anyway, we'll use
What a
yours.
shit show do you
Throw
run?
this away.
all right, JB,
Throw this away.
I'll run this then.
How do I run the episode?
JB, Evernote,
No, you're running there.
Evernote, Twitter, or napkin.
I'll say napkin.
Ooh.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh, you're a notebook.
What
guy.
best describes you? Ideas or resource gatherer?
Ideas.
If you received a large sum of money, from a benefactor, would you invest it in a business, go on a holiday? I feel that's the one. Start a side business.
He would already be on holiday.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he doesn't need to go on one.
So what is it? Invest in a business or
In your
invest
business.
in my business?
Invest in your business, go on a holiday, start a side business.
Oh, that's a toughie. I'll go side
I was
business.
going to say, you want me to answer for you?
Yes, please.
Just look at his Instagram stories. You'll always know where JB is.
You're unsure about how to do something, what would you do? Google or
Yeah,
find someone?
Google it.
Google. Well, that takes you down to here. This is uncharted territory.
Started, eh?
When it comes to running a business, oh fuck, you're happy to delegate tasks. You like to be in control.
Or the old version or the newer version?
No, the real one.
With a real Justin Bourne, please stand up.
Oh, look, I'll go with control.
Oh, will you?
You are the jack of all trades. You're happy to diversify when the need arises. You understand trends. When you see something that needs doing, you do it. Inspiration, Jeff Bezos.
Bezos, he's gone
Oh,
to the top of the tree.
Bezos.
Hang on a minute. Jack of all
He's
trades.
a Bezos.
Oh,
Bezos, is
yeah.
he?
I'll take that.
What am I?
All right. I'll be employee number
I don't
2.
even know who Anita is.
What are you? The world?
I'm Anita Roddick.
You can be employee number 3. It's fine.
Thomas Edison.
Oh, I could be.
We'll be billionaires anyway. We'll just I'll be 2, 3, 4.
What are you, Hannum? Evernote,
Never know.
Twitter, Evernote. Do you plan ahead? Never, always.
Always.
You created companies to build an empire, change the world, make loads of money, enjoy the self-start lifestyle.
Don't answer.
Not work for the man.
Can we answer for him?
Yeah, give us what you think.
I think he does it to build an empire.
Build an empire.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to answer now?
Do you want to explain? Do you want to explain how you justify your world-changing approach? Because we glossed over that a little bit. So I will happily admit that legacy and empire would be more the correct terminology than change the world as such. And I would
My vision. Go to my vision.
Yeah, I know what my vision is too. But I would ask you, Conrad, why did you start Inspired Money?
Because I wanted to help Shane and Craig recover money that they'd invested badly.
In you.
No. Not in me.
Just, I know, I'm teasing.
Okay, build an empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, quick, get this off me.
We're resolving the tension there, aren't we?
Of course it is, mate. I mean, you can smell it.
I was talking about you.
Please,
Yes. How do you make tough decisions? Gut, extensive research.
Can we answer that too? Phone a friend. Go on.
What's I going to answer?
No, go on, you go. We'll let you tell a lie.
I feel like
Let
we
you tell
should have
one-
answered for each other. No,
Well, we semi-did.
Let you tell one lie.
Realistically, I probably end up researching, but it's always better when I go with my gut. And I
so,
usually...
but what do you do normally?
Research.
I usually do both.
Research.
Yeah, research.
Just an accountant, mate.
Yeah, it's true. They're boring as crap, aren't they? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry to all the accountants out there. I love you.
We thank you. If we would verbalise it, we'd thank you.
Got no emotion, mate.
What's the basis of your business strategy? Old concepts, new ideas executed well.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. We should keep this for the next board meeting.
Old concepts, really. I mean, I don't pretend that I'm...
Revolutionising.
I wouldn't have said that.
I don't think so.
I think innovation, but not to the extent of like new products, new categories in that regard, but innovation in terms of in older markets.
Well, let's put it this way. If you choose new ideas executed well, you become the innovator.
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck what I come with. This was good fun.
So
but
who's the innovator?
I'll take. Okay, we'll
Mark
take
Zuckerberg.
We'll take the innovator. But see, I'm not Zucks. Like,
Your passion lies in the making of a product of service
Yeah,
for
cool.
you.
Well,
It's
there
all
you
about
are.
getting your
Yeah.
ideas out there, and less so about actually running a business.
Yeah, look
Yeah,
at you, mate. You're the
that's
front man,
that's
mate.
actually spot on.
Yeah,
You're on
that's-
every freaking video I see on
Yeah.
socials. Now you're going to be on YouTube
With your
channel.
aviators on, walking down the street.
Mate, you just wish you had some aviators. You wish they came in palm tree green.
Interesting
I like
exercise.
camouflage.
Interesting exercise. What's the point?
The point was a bit of fun, mate.
Oh.
It's so serious with you sometimes. You
No,
come
there's 20
in,
minutes
you're all,
long,
look,
I'm
I've
gonna
got
get
you laughing. You're usually so
What's that?
grumpy all the
I
time.
feel like I've got a stomach ache because I've laughed too
Yeah,
much.
exactly. You released
point
some
of that?
energy. Your stomach hardness just released.
My six pack is sore.
That was a great episode. Thanks for listening.
Well, now back on track.
Yeah.
Who's got? Give me this iPad. I threw away my notes. I got angry. Show me that. Go to the bottom. I want to see what these definitions look like. Let's just go through this a little bit.
The world changer, which is myself.
Yeah, which is
You care about what,
Skewed.
you care about what's going on around you in terms of environment, the economy, education, and health. Oh, that's fair
That's
enough.
me.
No, it's not. Inspiration, Anita Roddick. Should I know who this lady is? Human rights activist and founder of The Body Shop.
Yeah,
I
you're
should've-
a
I've never
lot-
shopped in The Body Shop.
you're a lot like her.
Oh, that's me too.
Roddick made sure to keep everything ethical in her business by making a stand against animal testing and setting up the company's own fair trade program. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right.
What's next one?
The innovator, we've just read, which was Zuckerberg. By the age of 24, he had dropped out of university to enjoy his multi-billion-dollar fortune as the founder of the social networking site, Facebook.
Oh, was it Facebook?
If you wouldn't have guessed,
Oh,
would
okay.
you?
Oh, what?
What's that? Facebook. Do
All right. Yeah.
There you go, Trevor.
you want me to finish them off, do you?
Those two, and then we'll get the other two.
The opportunist. When you have a knack for knowing when the right time and place for a product is, you might be a little impulsive, but you're prepared to explore whatever seems like a good
That was him,
opportunity.
yeah.
at
I
the
mean,
time.
pewter. I mean, you might be the only person in Australia in the last decade that's gone, do you know what? I'm going to start a pewter business.
Hey, no,
you said decade?
no, your
That's
niche.
been kind.
No, your niche.
Has there been, what, about 3 or 4, like, in this last 100 years?
Maybe 5.
They've got a whole directory.
Opportunist sounds like me. Jack of all trades, you're happy to diversify when the need arises. You understand trends, and when you see something that needs doing, you do it. Jeff Bezos. Bezos moved his family to Seattle to get closer to a book warehouse and the city's pool of tech talent. He drummed up investment from family and friends before setting up his business in the garage with 5 employees.
I'm just going to throw money at anyone that says they want to start a business in a garage. I think if you look at how many businesses that we are,
right.
multi-billion-dollar businesses.
I'm going to start one in your garage.
I don't have a garage.
Yeah, you do.
I've got a carport.
It's empty. What the fuck? Just got a bit of breeze.
Air conditioning, because we don't have any trees here.
Serial entrepreneur. You're adaptable and always looking towards the next big thing. You don't dwell on past mistakes and have a high tolerance for stress. Inspiration. Thomas Edison. The light bulb, motion picture camera, phonograph. These are a few of the 1,093 US patents the prolific inventor gave the world.
That's crazy, right? Have you guys ever Googled patents by people like Edison, or I've done it a lot with what's his name, the dude from Apple?
Conrad Francis.
I don't
The
have any.
dude from
Steve
Apple,
Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs' patents are crazy.
Steve Jobs. I've never heard of that guy.
It's crazy
The
patents.
dude from Apple.
Crazy patents. Have a look. Seriously, if you really want to, and I'm speaking to people out there, if you really want to have a afternoon, a cup of tea and just open your eyes, have a look at what someone who values innovation and what the hell they innovate, what the hell they patent. It's crazy.
Well, Bill Gates got the patent for coronavirus.
The cure, yeah,
Yeah,
but I
the
mean,
cure.
that's him. He wants to be control of the world.
The entrepreneur. The clue is in the name. You have plenty of ideas, but you're not yet put in the groundwork to see them to fruition. The only thing worse than starting something and failing is not starting something.
They've never named anyone, but
Seth
South
Godin.
Godin's got the quote there. I mean, entrepreneurs, guys. I mean,
I think it's-
easy to pick them.
There's a shit ton out there, isn't there?
They're not sitting at this table.
There's a lot out
They're
there.
everywhere.
How do you
What makes you an entrepreneur?
no, not necessarily what makes you an entrepreneur. How do you smell them out?
Go from entrepreneur to, or how do you smell them out?
Yeah.
Like that.
Because there's a ton of them. They do just hit you up on a lot for information time and off.
Yeah, I mean the most DMs you'll get.
I feel
from entrepreneurs.
you smell them out by the people that don't action anything. So
Got any tips? Because understanding that they don't action anything means you've spent some time with them.
It's really
I'm trying
hard.
not to spend time with them.
It's really hard, but because it's also not fair because there's a lot of people that people will sit in that space for a different length of time. Some people for a little bit while they're hesitant to get started, and others maybe for a long time. But then they finally start, and then they're off. Because I think it is a big hurdle to jump.
I think it's when you notice inconsistencies between what they're putting out there versus like the behind the scenes.
But again, that requires you to invest time.
Yeah, it's very hard to know. I think a lot of the time, some entrepreneurs. I guess that's part of the whole social media thing, right? It's pretty hard to know some of what's actually going on. So
getting a sense that you're struggling with this.
Not that I'm struggling. I have struggled with it because I generally have allowed myself to give people time. And given the fact that I'm struggling with time at the moment, I want to know how to feel this a lot easier.
So, which part of that statement was the truth?
What do you mean?
You said, no, I've dealt with it before, but right now I'm struggling with the time of
I
it.
can't remember what I said.
So you're struggling with it now?
Yeah, you are.
Given the lack of time I've got to give to the entrepreneurs of the world.
So what's your question?
So how do you guys do it? Like if you're going to spend, I don't have the time to spend it. So what I've started to do is ask harder questions early. And fuck, they dissolve real quick.
Ask harder questions, and I've done a lot lately where I get to flip. So with podcasting, it's one thing that I really do get a lot of questions around. Obviously, we do this, and I've got other podcasts in it, and I'm on other podcasts and do other things, and so I get the question a lot. And
How to be an entrepreneur?
no, how do I start it?
I started being an entrepreneur.
So what I did in that, in that instance, is we wrote a great blog, which I just linked to people very quickly on like all the steps on how to do it. And also, if they want help and they want, rather than me end up having 3-5 conversations, I send them a starter like strategy document and just say like, fill this out, read this, come back to me.
Yeah.
And then that
weeds them out.
most of the time I don't get a response or not much.
Yeah.
Or they come out asking the same question. I'm like, there's the link. I already sent it to you.
yeah, the first thing that comes to mind, and where it's not even entrepreneurs, just with running a team, is just which I think you do as well, and even in our proximity, is just when people don't do the small stuff that's requested upon them by people who have clearly achieved or done where they want to be. Do X, like, I don't know, run a budget sheet.
Yeah.
And they still don't do it. I think that's a massive red flag of entrepreneur. If you're not willing to do that type of stuff, I think, and as you've mentioned and you've talked a lot about, and I think as a coach, is just setting up the accountability structure and waiting for it to fail. Obviously, everyone's going to fail here or there. So it's a fine balance, I think, kind of like what you were saying, Matt, of like giving people like a little bit of a chance because, everyone's different. And that is a little bit of a fine balance, I think, because
I'm sure I asked a lot of questions of people before I sort of got started. And I know looking back at the time that it took me quite a bit of time to get started.
So are you saying that you would have come across like a entrepreneur?
Maybe, but it's more
I
that
feel like it's it's like a serial person.
It's an energy thing, right? They just want your energy.
It's a serial person that goes to, PD courses and they just go to the same ones all the time and don't take any action. Same with entrepreneur. Every 6 months they're starting a new business.
Here's my new mentor or, whatever. I mean, they like the proximity. They love the feeling, but they don't like the hard work.
Well, they haven't got through they haven't got through their belief systems yet. They haven't got through the, we know
that, mate.
No, I know, but that's the thing. It's hard to write them off as such, but you do need to form. Well, I've done a better job of forming a system to try and just work through some of those things. Yeah, and that podcasting one's a good example, just where I just make it easier.
Yeah. No, that's
a lot of people
a
just
fair point.
ask if they can come on the show.
More attention as to what they want, and if there's an easy way to get it to them, whether it be a blog or whatever, then.
If someone's going to ask you what your address is at your office, I mean, they're not.
I'm never there.
They're not respecting your time either. They're not thinking about it. Because if they're looking for an opportunity,
I do say to them, I said, I eat 3 meals a day. I said, buy me one and I'll share you some knowledge. I've got to sit down for an hour. I said, happy to do that. But if you can't even freaking offer, fucking no way.
I guess that comes from a place of you're trying to help people as well. So then you're feeling you're feeling like you're being taken advantage of because you're giving them your time. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I want to help as many people as possible. I want to be of best service to as many people as possible, which means you've got to be really discerning about where you spend your time because, a minute spent is a minute spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenging one, I think. I don't think it's something you can get right, and you're not gonna nail it. I mean, there's definitely more entrepreneurs. I think starting a business and doing anything on your own it's so cliche, but it's because it's so true. The cliches are true. Like it's hard work. I mean,
but everything is JB.
And
contextually, everything's hard work.
It's so hard, but when you look at how many mistakes have you made along the way, right? Like so many.
Yeah, but what
financial mistakes?
I mean, losing money. I mean,
but you're still
is
moving.
That really hard work?
You're still moving forward, though, right? Like we're still tripping forward. Like all of us around here could admit many failures and mistakes, but we're all tripping forward, I guess you could say. So we're still clearly putting in the effort and making some form of movement. I'm not saying we're perfect, but fuck yeah, messed up so many times and got it all wrong and all sorts. But it's still, I think a lot of the entrepreneurs are just going sideways.
They want the silver bullet, right?
Yeah, they're the ones. Yeah, like kind of what Hayder was saying. Always looking for the silver bullet. There's no silver bullet. And I think the other...
go and buy a lottery ticket. Fair chance.
Probably the other thing is a disconnect between what they're saying that they want to do and all of this versus where they're at. Whereas you can be going sideways and be I'm cool with this. I've set up this little side hustle and accepting and acknowledging what it is rather than I think the classic one is... when someone's out there talking about, us and we and this and that, and they're like a freelancer, and I get part of it because we tried to play off, we were a little bit bigger as well, but we were using contractors and all sorts and things like that and subbies and stuff. So, but it's we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And it's mate, it's just you.
Yeah.
What do you,
that's authenticity, right?
What do you mean? Who's the we in this,
It's going to be freelancer.we something.
And I think in saying that, I mean, we're digressing a bit off topic, but...
we had to add some value to it because the shit show that Hannon brought was snakes and ladders.
Because
there was a lot of value in that.
Because the other...
it made you feel better. Look at you. Look, now you're
I've lost my train of thought.
The big cuddly bear.
Sorry, but going back to Conrad, it's the point of giving to give rather than giving to receive, isn't it, as well? Because if you're giving those people your time... then you have to be okay with giving them your time straight away. Because if you're giving it to them expecting a result or to change them or to have an impact on them, it's William CYD the other week ago, he was telling us a story. William Whitecloud at Create Your Destiny, he was telling a story about he was doing intuition readings and... he would read them for 3 hours and give them all this information and they would go, oh, no. And then he'd say that within 6 months to 2 years, they'd all come back and go, whack, this was like spot on. You know, so like he didn't get the instant gratification from helping those people straight away. He just gave to them for selflessly giving. Well, he got paid to do it.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it's a little bit different. I mean, I know what you're trying to say, but it's still a little bit different from that perspective. I guess I'd love to know what you would like to see from somebody who wants to spend some time with you. What do they need to show up as, and how do they present?
Well, I've just put out a bunch of job ads, and I guess
noticed.
it's a similar thing.
I applied for a couple of them.
Yeah, instant delete. But
Didn't delete me.
But in saying that, there's a handful of instant delete because like you didn't even read the fucking ad. It said this in the ad, and you completely ignored it. Well,
I think it's showing up, being punctual, doing all those 1%ers, but then also like when you get a piece of advice, fucking do it. Like that's the biggest thing. Like I'm giving you a piece of advice because I've either failed at it and I've learnt and I'm passing that piece of knowledge on. I'm not just telling you to blow smoke up my own ass. Like I'm telling you because like I fucked it up. You know, like I'm giving you a little piece of gold here that I've learnt. Like go and execute it. Go and do it. If you don't want to go and do it, that's fine. But then don't waste my time down the track. That would be my advice.
Adam? Just my balls just dropped.
It's about time. Yeah, no, look, same. I think it's action.
Yeah, no. I love that saying. Yeah, no.
It's very Perth.
Yeah, it is very Perth.
Yeah, it's very Perth.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So
No.
someone for your time, if
no.
there's somebody out of your network or out of someone's network wants to hit you up and spend some time, what do you want to see out of them?
It's action and or awareness, I think.
To get in front of you, what do you want to see?
I want to see that they know what they're doing. Like what JB says, I would expect if they want to get in front of me, they've either been to a couple of websites, Googled me, know a little bit more about what's going on, what I'm doing, to know that they're not just, someone hasn't just said, oh, I just reach out to this person. They haven't bothered to figure out if it even makes sense. Like I'd rather them know what they want and either be willing to take like great action or just have some awareness on where they're struggling. And
do you social proof them at all?
Yeah, always. You know, I mean, I get lots of requests to be interviewed on the podcast and things like that, and like most of them are just ridiculous, and they have no clue. Like, or cool, like one question back: what value could you bring my audience? Like crickets, like no idea. Like I just want to come on your podcast. Like, yeah, what for? Like I'd happily have a chat with you, but like what?
So I should take that photo, my profile pic of the pineapple in front of me naked off my social. That will probably stop me getting on podcasts. Is that why you've never... I get it
I
now.
never return your phone calls, mate.
No,
Waste of time.
you never return my phone calls.
After that one
It's
you gave
not-
me that
I don't social
Saturday
proof
afternoon
like
talking
that.
about buying a computer business. Look, you know.
It's not that kind of social proofing. It's more the But yeah, actually, I've never had you on the other podcast.
I better.
there we go.
I better.
I really-
take that
I
pineapple
really-
fat off.
But I think this is-
aside from Facebook, LinkedIn to me, like, what have they done? They will tell you what they're trying to do, but what have you done?
Well, even just those things, have you put any effort into it?
Yeah.
Like, have you even spent 2 hours actually trying to build out your page and making sure that it makes sense? And I just, if they don't know what they're coming for, that's a problem for me.
And I struggle with MLM. I do struggle with MLM people,
Sorry, what's MLM?
multi-level marketing businesses.
I don't get many come to me, really.
I get a few, but yeah, I struggle.
I think it's this is really valuable though because like you know I think there's I mean part of me you know sitting at this table is reaching out like to you Conrad even though we met through something else and you know me then meeting you Hato was all part of that and the 7 a.m. brekkie and I mean Matt and I share an office and that would have occurred anyway but I know it takes some people to strum up a lot of courage to do that, and it can be very invaluable getting that 30, 45-minute coffee or lunch with someone. And I think what you just need to see is that it's obvious from their point of view that that's how they view it, as a valuable 30, 40 minutes worth of time. And I think anyone who wants to reach out, you've got to show that and respect and empathize with the other individual. And that might be hard for people who haven't been experienced to, say, a busy person. And it's the same even dealing with our clients. Like I'll say to, our production manager or account manager, I'm like, sometimes guys, like, put yourself in those shoes. Like, don't, rather than drafting up this big email, put yourself and think about, if you read this email, how would you want to respond? How do we make it easier for them? I think that's the question you've just got to ask. How do I make it easy for that other person to say yes?
Well, they call it frictionless.
Yeah. And so you could
make it easy for me to say no. Don't make it harder for me to say no than yes.
Because, like, as an example, would the perfect one be like, hey, Conrad, I'd love to take you out for a coffee at Gordon Street Garage at 12 o'clock, because you've never met this person, but they've gone to your website, realized that that's the closest cafe to your work, and they've clearly done that. Oh, and by the way, I listened to Simple Minds podcast and watched that episode. I really enjoyed X and Y and Z, and I'd love to pick your brains more on
100%.
And I'd love to pick your brains on this and that, and actually know what they're coming for,
And like, just by that, and if you did that to anyone, I'm sure the correspondence.
Yeah, because that strokes the ego, right? I mean, that opens the door. It makes you feel good. If not, you're thinking, shit, what's this person going to want to take out of you?
Well, the same is applied to if you're going out prospecting for new clients. If you are trying to build a business,
exactly.
Same
thing.
I will always go to the prospect's website and check out their website and see what's going on. I'll never rock up to a new client meeting without going to their website. But it's still fascinating.
But you can do that from a business. You can do that so much equally as effectively through socials these days with individuals.
Yeah.
And I tell my guys the same thing. I say, what do you know about this person? And they start rattling off the tangibles. No, what do you know? Okay, how many of you Googled them? What's their latest imagery telling you? How many kids have they got? What did they do last week on their holidays? You know this stuff, and you can show up and you go bang.
And because the other thing is, and I don't know whether we talked about it in the podcast, but I read a blog post where technically, even on LinkedIn, there's a stat, like technically you're like up to 3 to 5 people tops away from kind of anyone in the world.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to be, like if you put in the effort, like you could get to. There's a blog I was reading where this guy who was just he was a blogger, and he managed to end up getting on Ferris's podcast, and then that was the gateway catalyst to a handful of others, only through LinkedIn, through just a couple kind of connections, and he knew the way of getting that coffee with the individual, and that's fucking phenomenal. I'm guilty of not leveraging it enough and executing on that, but I think at the end of the day, just people need to show empathize. It's probably
empathy
is the key message.
So the key message is
great episode.
Don't be a entrepreneur or want to be anything really. Like, understand what you're doing. Show up, whatever it is. Show up. That's the key. We're all very, very different entrepreneurs, even in this room. 3 of us are mere mortals, and then there's the world changer, the infamous.
I just answered your questions, bro.
Bezos.
How do you reckon it'll be known? Just like as a
Bezos.
one word? Will it be Conrad? Will it be Coco or
Kanye?
Kanye? And
I just answered your silly
Kanye
questions.
2030.
In 2047, a little 7-year-old boy that's getting ready for his class
47.
will be going, oh, I heard of that guy.
Dugite mentality.
That Kanye guy.
Now the boys at Perry Lakes last year made up a shirt. I haven't seen it, but it was just imagery thing called the Mumbai mentality.
For you.
That was hilarious.
Actually, that is a great joke. We're going to sell shirts called the Mumbai mentality. Just say, no, just kidding. Actually,
why not? I reckon it's a great idea.
I love that idea.
Mentality by Kanye. The Kanye line.
So this little boy is going to be dreaming or maybe hopefully not dreaming, but reading about Kanye and his Mumbai mentality. All right, great episode, guys. Thanks. I tried to keep it a bit lighter. If it wasn't heavy enough for you, Conrad, I apologise if you laughed too much.
99.2 kilos light.
And everyone, I hope you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, watch on YouTube. And we'll be doing this for a few episodes, so please get behind us. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you think we should put Conrad in the corner over there, or however you want us to do this.
You don't put baby in the corner.
No one puts a baby Conrad in the corner. And,
Just wrap this up.
we'll
This is a
see you
train
next
wreck.
time. This is a train wreck. We'll see you later. See you next week.
Bye for now.
Good day.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to the Simple Minds podcast. If you like our show and want to know more, then check out our website at simplemindspodcast.com. If you like, you can even leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with a friend. The Simple Minds podcast is also on Facebook, Insta, and for those that like to keep things formal, LinkedIn. So follow us there if you want to keep up with the latest updates from the show. See you next week.